And with that, please join me in rising to welcome the Honorable Mayor Cavalier Johnson.
Madam Chair, honorable members of the Common Council, citywide officials, cabinet officials, others, thank you for being here with us this morning. Fulfilling my responsibility as mayor of the city, I present to you my 2024 municipal budget. The proposed plan and budget summary calls 2024 a pivot year. The previous trend of service cuts and draws on our reserves is behind us. Our new direction takes us on a path towards fiscal stability. Now, that's not to say that we're flush with cash. The revenue derived from the city's coming sales tax is dedicated to paying for new police officers, new firefighters, and closing out the city's pension system. We also need to remedy the undesirable past budget choices forced on us as we cobble together financial solutions. This includes renewed focus on our deferred capital investments, our employee compensation, shortfalls, and our diminished reserves. But before we get into the details of my 2024 plan, I want to talk about the budget that I am not presenting today. I'm not closing branch libraries. I'm not imposing furlough days or hiring freezes on our employees. I'm not closing firehouses. I'm not cutting police sworn strength. I'm not offering a budget that continues a spiral of declining services and growing desperation. And that's, yes, because of the bipartisan work we completed in Madison, along with the fortitude and the foresight of members of this council, we have a reasonable path forward. So for the first time in decades, we'll have an increase in state shared revenue. And for the first time in more than a century, we have diversified our tax revenue sources so that we're no longer only relying on the property tax. I want to take a moment to speak directly to the employees of Milwaukee city government. Over the past 2 decades, as fiscal pressures mounted, you've shared the burden as wages lagged, as benefits changed, and unpaid days were imposed. We've delayed workplace remodeling and scrimped on office supplies. Employees, I value your service, I value your dedication, and I value your patience. So yes, we're in the midst of compensation reviews throughout our operation so that our pay rates are adjusted to match the market. Employees, our direction has changed. The demands placed on you will ease. And my budget includes a modest, across-the-board pay increase for general city employees. I'm presenting a budget with a number of notable changes in city government structure and operations. Abandoned, foreclosed, boarded up houses in Milwaukee, they diminish our neighborhoods. They drag down property values and create major public safety issues. Buildings that are set to be raised, they need to come down. So in a proposal that I'm calling Raise and Revive, my budget doubles funding for demolition. And rather than just relying on outside contractors to do the work, a new team at our Department of Public Works will be added to the effort. To be clear, though, demolishing a neighborhood blight is not an end in itself. That's why I'm formalizing an interdepartmental team, Public Works, Neighborhood Services, City Development, to coordinate a comprehensive response. Because I want city government to prevent homes from deteriorating to the point of demolition, and if demolition is inevitable, to prioritize redevelopment that strengthens neighborhoods. Residents all across Milwaukee will see new investments in our roadways. My budget funds the popular high-impact paving program at the highest level ever, and will continue to invest in reckless driving reduction with physical changes to our streets. My budget also increases investment in green infrastructure by 33%, often tied to road construction, which will both make the city more ecologically sustainable and beautify our neighborhoods. In the coming years, our efforts will green up Milwaukee. There's no higher priority of mine than increasing public safety, and we're making notable progress in reducing serious crime. Last year, numbers of both property crimes and violent crimes in Milwaukee went down. This year, positive trends continue with homicides and auto thefts down significantly in the city. I want 2024 and the years ahead to be safer and safer. 2024 budget that I'm submitting includes staffing increases in the police department and in the fire department. We're fully complying with this portion of Act 12, and to do so, we're asking for our Fire and Police Commission to boost its recruitment efforts. So continuous recruitment is now the norm, and to the greatest extent possible, our training classes will be full, and those classes must reflect the diversity of our entire city. Next year, our residents will see more firefighting resources, an additional paramedic unit, and additional fire engine as well. With the police officers we're adding, I want prompt responses to reported crime and additional efforts to keep crime from occurring in the first place. We're moving forward with organizational changes to our violence prevention work. A new Office of Community Wellness and Safety will incorporate the work that's currently underway in the Office of Violence Prevention. The importance of prevention is in no way diminished. We've got multiple simultaneous efforts to reduce violence. At the same time, the work of this department in promoting safety is a broader task. It requires an appreciation that community wellness, that neighborhood strength, that economic opportunity, that positive alternatives, and thoughtful guidance, they're all a part of the mix. The team at the Office of Violence Prevention is ready to embrace the larger vision that we're laying out. So in the new Community Wellness and Safety Office, which will be part of the Department of Administration, they will rise to the challenge. The other organizational changes included in the budget aimed at promoting oversight, efficiency, and teamwork, I'll highlight now. The Board of Zoning Appeals will administratively join the Department of Administration. Our plan is to move environmental health risk officers from the Department of Neighborhood Services to the Health Department to better align with the nature of the work. And our Early Childhood Program Director will join the reconfigured Office of Community Wellness and Safety as the office establishes its increased scope. As good ideas are advanced by members of this council, by city departments, and by objective outside analysis of our operations, city government should have a thoughtful champion to implement the best of these ideas. With that in mind, I'm proposing a new position of Innovation Director. The person in this new role will be empowered to lead discussions, to develop ideas, and maximize the city's participation in statewide innovation funding. I want a leader in this position who can overcome the bureaucratic impediments and prepare city government to meet the challenges we'll face in the future. In the coming year, we're modifying our work on street lighting improvements. Our new effort, I'm calling it Brightline, will redeploy federal money to upgrade streetlights with brighter LED fixtures. We'll make the changeover on tens of thousands of light poles that'll accept the new lights. This is an environmentally responsible approach, saving significant energy. The new lights will be installed all across the city. The goal of Brightline is to improve this important infrastructure as well as to increase public safety in Milwaukee's neighborhoods. Brightline is a change from our previous plan that focused on antiquated street lighting circuitry. As our Department of Public Works has previously shared, market forces have left us with limited options in pursuing that approach. So we'll continue to upgrade the most troublesome circuits across the city, and we'll do that with city resources. Going forward, we will include contractors when that becomes feasible. Next year, as each one of us in this room knows, is an important political year, with both spring as well as fall elections that will determine office holders at every level of government. I've got confidence in our election commission and the departmental leaders who conduct elections. Their approach will work with diligence and with integrity. This budget assigns the resources they need to make sure that all the elections in 2024 take place smoothly. This budget invests in a number of programs that are proven and are necessary. For example, we're increasing the number of doulas in the health department's maternal child health program. The team there has supported mothers in the births of hundreds of children in Milwaukee, promoting healthy outcomes. We're also adding more than $1 million to the Office of Equity and Inclusion and the Office of African American Affairs. These offices undertake essential work that promotes fundamental fairness and opens opportunities, unlocking potential amongst residents that too often have been left behind. This budget devotes some American Rescue Plan Act funds to our operations. This is important in a number of ways. This money is key to putting our long-term fiscal house in order. It's part of our effort to free up resources so that we're back on track with our reserve funds, with employee compensation, and with capital investments. It's also important that we allocate and spend ARPA money in a timely manner so that we're complying with federal requirements around the use of those funds. I don't want to leave money on the table that we should be using to benefit our residents. My plan does include reserving $5 million of funds so that in the spirit of the ARPA task force approach, we can direct resources to resident-inspired projects and efforts that are deemed valuable. You'll see some changes in the 2024 capital budget as we slightly decrease borrowing for capital projects. Change you will see is the addition of cash financing for our capital needs. And here's why that's important. For many years, we have squeezed our capital investments. These are items that must be addressed, and this approach is a prudent path. An important measure of the fiscal health of the city is our bond rating, and by that measure, we've turned a corner. The direction is positive, but of course, to maintain that positive direction, we must keep on a responsible path. When I presented a budget to this council a year ago, my tone was quite different. Our prospects were worrying, our service cuts were inevitable, and our options were few. 1 year has made a world of difference. 1 year. So as we stay on a responsible course, we can look ahead to stability in our finances, greater confidence among city employees and our residents, growing assurance that city services that they need, that they expect, and that they deserve will be there. Thank you.